We can have a lot of difficulties in our life. They come in many shapes and sizes, whether it's a physical difficulty, emotional difficulty, relational, or whatever it is. And yoga is about getting to the bottom of those difficulties and finding some way to resolve them. And it basically names five obstacles to freedom, to peace of mind. They are listed as attachment, aversion, egoism, ignorance, and clinging to bodily life. Those are the five. Ignorance is the main one, it's kind of the foundational one. And ignorance, of course, doesn't mean ignorance, being ignorant of some particular issue. It's not the absence of knowledge, but a deeper kind of ignorance of what the self is. Now, the Yoga Sutras gives us a way out of this suffering. It tells us, well, how do you get out of the suffering? Well, you got to know what the cause of the suffering is. So it says here, in subtle form, these five obstacles, these five: ignorance, egoism, attachment, aversion, clinging to bodily life, these five obstacles can be destroyed. So they can be destroyed by resolving them back to their source or to their primal cause. By resolving them back to their primal cause. How do you do that? And it gives a primal cause as ego. Ego is the primal cause. So it's saying, all right, there is suffering. Suffering is caused by ignorance, all of those five that I mentioned. That's the surface cause, but there's a primary underneath cause, and that is ego. Ego. Their primal cause is ego. This idea of a separate self. Even this idea of a self that has existence. There is an existing self, but that's only half of the truth. And we're usually not in touch. We're only in touch with half of that, the half of truth. We're in touch with ourself in some way, and we think that self is real. So this is my understanding, the underlying cause of our trouble is the ego. It's ego-based. And so we're using this yoga as a technique to open ourselves up to something larger than the self. We're using these postures as a way to open us physically up to something greater than what we identify as the self, right? This body, mind. We identify this body, mind as ourself, but there is something more than this. Some people call it God. Some people call it something else, but in any case, we are blocked off from it oftentimes, and the yoga practice helps us to get reconnected to this bigger self. All right, so let's start by lean to one side or the other. In fact, we can start with a short meditation. So let's lean one side and just kind of rocking left and right. We'll do a short meditation in silence for a little bit. Starting out with rocking left and right. Get a sense of your hips here. And also get a sense of your legs, how you'd like to have your legs. See if you can find a comfortable posture for your legs. Preferably one that helps to open up the abdominal region. Okay, and then what we'll do is bring our palms up on our knees, palms up. Take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, fold over the left knee, just going as low as you can. How low you go isn't important. Not so important how low you go. Just go as far as you feel comfortable. Maybe taking a few breaths here. And then on the next inhale, lift the head up to center. Exhaling over the right knee, keeping the back long and tall, hinging from the hips. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, folding over the center, keeping the back tall, hinging from the hips. Inhaling, coming up. Exhaling, opening up the ribs, lifting the chin. Exhaling, dropping the chin back down, lowering the shoulders. Okay, we'll reach the arms up towards the ceiling as high as you can. Take a deep breath in. Exhaling, slowly bringing the arms down, elbows behind the ears, hands behind the ears. Open up the ribs. Keeping the hands behind the ears, elbows behind the ears. And then dropping the hands in the lap. Right. Left hand over top of the right, thumb tips lightly touching. Back nice and tall, eyes lowered, but kept open with a soft gaze. And just gentle breathing, not trying to control your attention, not trying to direct your attention, just sitting. Just kind of in this balance, a poised state of mind, finding some balance, some physical balance. And we'll just hold that for about a minute or so. All right, and then close that little meditation. We'll come back to that near the end. We'll add some pranayama. Let's do some asana. We'll do asana work, moving into our body, do some deep relaxation, pranayama, and then another period of meditation at the end of the class. So this will be kind of light on the asana portion and more heavy on the deep relaxation and and quiet sitting. So let's just maybe bring ourselves to our hands and knees and sit back on the heels, sliding the hands up the mat, head down, and relaxing the back a little bit, the hips a little bit. Resolving them back to their source. Resolving them back to their source. And all of these obstacles, the kleshas, ignorance, etc., get resolved back to their source. They come from somewhere. They cause suffering. And if we can return them to where they come from, that is the end of suffering, according to yoga. Whether that's true or not really depends on how we practice and our practice, right? We need to check that out for ourselves if it's true or not true. But for now, it's just letting go. This pose, this child's pose, is a wonderful pose for letting go of that ego base. Child's pose. It's to help us remember our playful nature. Whether we feel that playful nature or not is beside the point. It's a posture of playfulness. It's not simply a stretch, although it can be used in that way. It's also an attitude. To strive to have that beginner's mind, the mind that is curious, right? We can develop curiosity here. That's a way to dismantle ego. I think we can ask ourselves, what is this? What is this self that experiences this? Who is this? All right, and when you're ready, we'll come back up to all fours. Make our way up to our hands and knees, and then when you find a steady place here in tabletop, curl the toes under the feet and lift the knees up for down dog. Some nice deep breathing here in down dog, if possible. Just working in the pose. The work in this pose is just the first to settle into it, and second to see how we can possibly improve upon where we're at. So first is just to settle into the pose wherever we happen to be, and then listen to your body here. Let your body guide you, whether that means opening the shoulders a little bit, maybe lowering the head, perhaps bending the knees, or perhaps straightening the knees. Right? There's not a right way to do this pose, but we do have to listen to the guidance that our body is giving us. So let's take some time in this pose, just exploring it, getting curious about it. And if you need to take a break in the pose, just lower your knees down. You can come back into child's pose if you'd like, and then come back into downward dog when you're ready. All right, and then stepping the right foot forward,
Step the right foot forward, lower the left knee, we'll come into a low lunge. Doing a little, so we'll work on some hip openers first and then do some forward folds. Do some hip openers, forward folds, work on some more inversions, then deep relaxation. That's the kind of the plan for this class. So right now, just opening the hips a little bit. Okay, and then stepping back to downward dog. Which is also an inversion. The downward dog is also an inversion. Inversions are really good for relaxing the heart. It helps it reduces the stress on the heart. You may want to check the fingers, make sure they're spread wide, pressing the tips of the the fingertips into the mat. And then stepping the left foot forward. Let's step the left foot forward. Come out of that downward dog. Give the shoulders a little rest here. And offer the stretch up to the hips. And as you're in this low lunge, to really focus on being present in your body and consciously relaxing the muscle groups. Whether or not we feel relaxed isn't so important. We're just cultivating the intention to soften the muscles, regardless of our emotional state in the present moment. Just focusing on the physical body, the muscles there. Check your abdomen. Make sure you're not tightening muscles unnecessarily there in the abdomen. And it helps the flow of prana through the body, opening up that abdomen, the flow of energy. Okay, and then stepping the left foot back. We just come onto all fours and sit back down. This time bringing the feet forward. And give the wrists a little rest from all that. Bring the feet forward momentarily, and then we'll bring the soles of the feet together to open the hips a little bit. And if you grab hold of your ankles, you can use the elbows the weight of the elbows to kind of help to lower your legs. You're kind of gently pressing the elbows down into the thighs or into the calves, wherever they happen to land here, in such a way that aids in the disengaging of those hip muscles. Here too, it's just a matter of, it's not a matter of putting effort into stretching, but effort into softening the body.
And let the asana do the asana. Right? Exactly. Yeah, exactly. We're just doesn't matter what pose we're in. We're just trying to relax those muscles in the pose. Yeah, the pose can be conducive to relaxing. But sometimes we get this is where ego gets involved and we think, oh, I got to do it a certain way, and we try to manipulate our body. But yoga is more about surrendering to the pose. So you don't have to try to make the pose into something or look a certain way as much as to relax the muscles in whatever position your body happens to be. At least that's the way that I was taught in integral yoga. All right, so let's extend. We'll come back to those hip openers. Let's extend one leg forward for a forward fold. And here we're focusing on the toes pointing up, lengthening the back, reaching the arms up to really help to lengthen that back up and fold from the hips forward and down. Relaxing the upper back here so that the elbows can bend, head comes towards the knee. All right, and then we'll reverse that. Just walking your hands up your leg, and we'll switch the feet around the other side. Other side. Arms reaching up and folding. And the point of the arms reaching up is really to help extend the back up as well. And you can feel the difference if you decide not to have your arms up and just fold this way versus reaching your arms up. There's some element here in the back that gets extended up more easily, more readily. So that's why we lift the arms over the head. Keep that back extended as we come forward. All right, and come on up to a seat. Let's return to the hip opener. So we're going to lift that the bent knee and lift the foot up off the ground. Use your hands to do so. You can grab one ankle and one knee with your hands and just rock a little bit left and right so that you can feel a pulling in the outside of the hip now. Right? Bring that foot over the leg and wrap the elbow around the raised knee a little and rock it a little bit so that you feel that hip muscle opening or at least getting pulled a bit. And then when you're ready, go ahead and land the foot on the other side of the leg. Wrap the opposite elbow around the knee and bring your first hand behind your back to turn for a little twist. So we're keeping the back straight, twisting a little bit. And then back to center. Switch the legs around. Let's try the other side. All right. This yoga pose is also called rock the baby, where you grab your foot in one hand, your knee in the other, or in the crux of the elbow, and just kind of gently massage it. There's so many ways to get at this, the outside of the hips. This is one of them that's fairly doable for a lot of people. You just protect the knee, make sure the knee is not bothering you as you do this. There's no pinching in the knee joint, but the pull, the sensation is strongly felt, usually in the outside of the hip. And then when you're ready to step it down, reverse those elbows. So the opposite elbow wraps around the knee and comes to the back and turn, twist. So you're still getting a stretch to the outer hip, and you're also getting a twist to the back. All right, great, great, great. And then come back to center. All right, we're going to undo those legs, and then one more forward fold. So both legs together this time. And use your hands to straighten up your back a little bit, and then reach the arms up and fold over both legs. And see if you can really come to an easy feeling in your body, a sense of ease in your body. All right, and then coming back up to the seat, just walk your hands up your legs, sitting back up. All right, so let's try some inversions here. This one, I'm going to use a chair to help me out here. So you might want to get yourself a chair. I'll show you what I'm doing. If you want to see first, sit as close to the chair as you can, and then lay down on your back. Bring your feet up to the chair. Hold on to you lower your head, hold on to the legs of the chair, and then you can use your feet to push your feet into the chair. So you're walking your shoulder blades together, coming up onto your shoulders.
And just holding onto the legs of the chair like this. A nice, easy way to do an inversion. It's very stable. You're basically using the muscles of your butt and low back to help lift you up here a little bit into your thighs, just pushing into the chair, pushing the feet into the chair. And we'll do this for about 3 minutes total. At any point, if you need to lower down, if you need to rest, go ahead and take it, and then maybe you stay down or maybe you come back up. It's up to you. But just experiment here. See how that feels for you. Now you could stay here if you want. You can walk your hands up the leg of the chair if you want. I mean, these are just experiments. So I'm just getting myself a little bit closer to the chair by walking my shoulder blades closer to it and getting my hands closer to the top of the chair. And then from there, if your butt's next to the seat of the chair, you can straighten out your legs and rest them on the back of the chair, like I'm doing right now. If this is too much to do, don't do it. You can just stay where you are or rest if you need to. But this is just another option for use of the chair. And now I'm not using my legs at all. I'm not using my back very much. Just a little bit of effort in my back to keep my low back flat. But that's it for this. Make sure there's lots of space under your neck so that you're not cramping the back of your neck at all. So one way to determine that is to lift the back of your head up a little bit, draw the head away from the shoulders, and then place it back down. Make sure to keep your shoulder blades together. And just as much as possible, relax in the pose. Okay, just about 20 more seconds here. All right, and then just to come out of the pose, what I'm going to do is just walk my shoulders away from the chair a little bit, lifting my head up, and slowly my legs come off of the chair, holding on to the legs of the chair as I slide down. Now, okay, and just take a moment to rest here. You can just rest your legs on the chair if you want. All right, next one. You got a choice, two options. One is to put your feet up on the wall. So if the edge of my seat here was the wall, I just straighten my legs out. You can just put your heels up. Pretend my heels are up on a wall. You put your heels up on the wall. So you might want to go next to the wall and get your bottom right next to the wall, and then swing your feet up, swing your legs up onto the wall, and just rest them there. This is another way to get an inversion in, get the blood flowing down away from the feet, give the heart a little rest. The other option is to try it's called half plow pose. So for this one, I'm going to turn around 180 degrees from the chair in relationship to the chair and swing my feet up onto the chair, hands going over my head. This is another way of getting an inversion in, and this gives a little stretch to the back of the legs. The legs stay resting on the chair. The upper back gets a little opening, but only do this if it feels okay for your back, your head, your neck. If you have any doubts, then you can choose the other option, which is to put your feet up on the wall, which has great benefits as well. So either way is fine. Either way is fine. And we'll stay here for about a minute and a half. And just working on softening the muscles in the body. All right, maybe another 15 or 20 seconds here. All right, and then as you're ready to slowly come out of the pose by lowering the back down, if the back is raised, or lowering the legs down, maybe taking them off the chair when you're ready. And then once your legs are down, to take a moment to rest the body. If your hands are over your head, you can bring them back to your side somewhere. And rest. All right, and then from here, we'll go into deep relaxation. So I'll spend a good amount of time here in deep relaxation. And so put on an extra layer if you need it. Start by just kind of wiggling our legs, or rolling our legs left and right a few times, wiggling them a little bit. And take a deep breath in, hold the breath. Squeeze the muscles of the left leg, make it stiff as a board, lift it up a couple of inches. Release. Let the breath out. Try the right leg. Take a deep breath in and hold it. Squeeze the right leg as tight as you can, lift it up, and release. Okay, roll both legs and forget about them. Okay, bring an awareness to the buttocks. Take a deep breath in and hold. Squeeze the butt tight. Release. Okay, and then bring an awareness to the left arm. Roll the left arm a couple times on the floor. Okay, open and close the fingers a few times, make a fist and release a couple times. All right, then we'll take a deep breath in and hold. Make a fist with the left hand and squeeze all the muscles of the left arm, lift them, release. Roll the left arm and forget about it. Let's do the right arm, roll it. Open and close the fingers a few times. Take a deep breath in and hold. Make a fist, squeeze the right arm as tight as you can, lift it up, release. Roll it and forget about it. Take a deep breath into the abdomen, puffing it up like a balloon. Ready? Breathe in. Hold it, suck in a little bit more air. Hold. Open the mouth, let the air gush out. And take a deep breath into the upper chest, holding. Suck in a little bit more. Hold. Open the mouth, let the air gush out. Okay, forget about the breath. Let's squeeze the shoulder blades together behind the back and release. Lift the shoulders towards the ceiling, up. Release. Lift the shoulders towards the ears. Squeeze them up there and release. Walk the elbows down towards the hips. Make space around the shoulders, between the shoulders and the ears. Turn the head left and right a few times. Stretch out the neck. Okay, lift the head up off the ground and hold. And tuck the chin a little bit. Gently lower the back of the head down. And relax the head. Relax the neck muscles.
Open the mouth as wide as you can. Stretch out your jaw and release. Lastly, scrunch up all the muscles of the face, making a prune. Squeeze the eyes, wrinkle up the forehead, scrunch up the nose, everything. And release. Okay. Make any last minute adjustments to your posture, however you'd like to be here, but see if you can find a posture you can maintain in relative stillness for the next few minutes. The stiller you are, the deeper the relaxation goes. So we'll start with the feet without moving them. Relax all the muscles in the feet. Relaxing all the muscles in the ankles and the calves. And the knees. Thighs. Softening the muscles throughout the legs. All right, softening the abdomen. And relaxing the shoulders, the neck, the upper back. Down through the arms, the muscles at the upper arms, the forearms, wrists, hands, and fingers. And then the muscles on either side of the spine, starting with the low back. And lastly, the muscles in the face. Soften the muscles in the forehead.
And then the body as a single unit, head to toe, everything in between. Totally relax all the muscles throughout the whole body. And then we'll shift awareness to the breath, focusing on breathing, noticing sensation of breath at the nose, or perhaps watching the abdomen rise and fall. All right, bringing awareness to your thoughts with the intention to witness your thoughts, to not get entangled with thought, but to witness them, to disengage from your thoughts, not to eliminate thought, but to disengage from them, to witness them. Water rolling down a riverbed, that's all they are. We stay out of the river and watch it. And lastly, giving the mind permission to enter into any sense or feeling of wellness, to enter into any feeling of wellness or peace, and to stay with it. All right, and then let's begin to wiggle the toes, wiggle the fingers, and gently begin to roll the legs and arms a little bit, come out of that stillness. Right, maybe roll the head slightly, just a little movement. Doesn't have to be a big movement. Transition to the left side of the body. And then have a seat when you're ready. And then we'll close with the way that we started. See if this yoga class hasn't prepared you to sit in stillness. Just bringing the left hand at the right hand at the base, left hand over top, thumb tip slightly touching. Eyes lowered with a soft gaze, breathing gently through the nose. Not doing anything. So we're going to forego breathing practices. We'll just go right into what we call just sitting. All right, and then coming out of this stillness, we just rock the body again a little bit left and right. You can maybe place the hands on the knees if you wish, and just rock a little bit, coming out of that stillness to end it. You rock forward and backward, and then a closing dedication to. We don't want to hold this piece in ourselves. So we want to let it out. So release it. Don't hold on to anything, not even a sense of ease or peace. Just let it go. And you can dedicate it out to others. Maybe if you have somebody in mind, you can bring them into mind and wish them well. May they be at peace. I'll do a universal dedication. And with the intention of letting go and not trying to hold on to any feelings that you have right now. May all beings be safe, may all beings be well, and may all beings be happy. Thank you all so much for your practice. I need this as much as anybody else, and I'm just real grateful to you all for practicing with me because it really encourages me to do the practice as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Thanks for letting me offer some words. Thank you guys online.
Thank you,
Take good
Daishin.
care. All right. Bye-bye.